Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of BAK BAK, or I guess I could be like, welcome back to another episode of BAK BAK. Anyway, this is our interview series with different J fashion artists and designers and business owners, where we talk to them about their process and their journeys. Today, here I have with me Yumi from Yumi of Yumiyumyum Illustrations. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Hello. My name is Yumi. I'm an illustrator from Australia, Canberra to be more precise. I mainly do Lolita kind of inspired illustrations. I do other stuff as well, like animals, but I think my main inspirations come from Lolita Fashion.
Yeah. And so how did you start? Did you start out drawing Lolita Fashion and then like improve your drawing from there, or did you like know how to draw before and then like you're like, oh, I'm gonna draw lots of Lolita stuff?
Oh no, that's a good question because no, well, I think like at a certain point in your life, you understand like what you kind of like to do, and I think I decided I want to be like that art kid when I was like in what's year 6? I guess is it junior high? No, I'm not really sure.
I don't know, 6th grade.
6th grade. So you guys call it 6th grade as well.
We have 6th, 7th, and 8th, but then after that it goes to freshman.
Yeah. So I guess it would just be 6th grade, I think.
Yeah.
And that's when like I discovered like anime and stuff. And I think Lolita has always kind of been in the background. We all kind of, well, lots of people have come across, Lolita being represented in different manga, like, Death Note. That's always been in the back of my mind. And Chobits. I think like that was like the first thing I've ever read where I was like, wow, these dresses, what are they?
Yeah.
But I think it only, I'll show you. It's a bit more interesting if I show. Because just because I was exposed to it, I did, have that really embarrassing like DeviantArt Lolita OC, but I think that just got forgotten for a few years until after university, where I discovered the fashion again. I'll just share some pictures. Share. No. Share. So I think like a lot of people when they're growing up, especially if you've like started drawing anime, for me in university, I started feeling very self-conscious about it. It's kind of stupid, but you think at that point in time that you should be drawing realistic, or you should be drawing like horror, or getting really good at rendering. And yeah, that is the case for a lot of people. But for me this time, I was really kind of trying to take my art style away from, anime style. So was experimenting a lot. I think something really embarrassing is just before I like kind of dove into Lolita Fashion, I was drawing a lot of fan art, like really obscure stuff like StarCraft. I don't know why I was super into it at that time, but the first kind of Lolita illustration was kind of by coincidence, where I had to draw a Harley Quinn and a Poison Ivy Christmas card for my friend. And I thought like, oh, sorry, that's not the right name. And in that kind of vein, I was starting to draw like different superheroes as in Lolita, and this was the first time when I looked at like Kira in my works and really studied her works very hard. So yeah, just from strange beginnings. Another thing is like I don't even really like Western comics, so very strange beginnings. And what else was it? That's supposed to be what was it, Catwoman? Oh my god. So yeah, I'm just trying to show my roots.
Yeah.
I think from this one, you can tell that I really looked at Sakiso's artworks as well,
Yeah,
with the
she's
really
amazing.
opulent. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think that translated well to this, but there we go.
I can
And
see
then
it though.
and then from there, I thought I'd look at different, other J fashions as well. And I think it was at this point I really started to enjoy drawing with traditional mediums such as, well, everyone thinks I draw with ink for these black and white pictures, but
Oh,
no, it's just a black Copic marker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and white pen on top.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's like I think that's kind of like the first foray into that kind of style. Um, and then I think the thing that solidified it for me was my friend from the her name's Sarah, and she's from the Decora Factory. She actually commissioned me with, only when I had these artworks to share,
Mhm.
to do some Lolita illustrations. And yeah, I think when I look back at them, um, they're so different to what my style is looking like today. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was really fun, and I think from this commission, I realized I really like drawing frills and details, and just cute girls doing cute things. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
Is
my
it the
gosh,
famous?
Elliot, go away. Oh, people are actually here. Thank you. Hello. I wasn't looking at the comments because I was a bit nervous. Yeah, so that's kind of how I fell into drawing Lolita fashion. Yeah, from humble roots, I think, from
Yeah.
embarrassing roots.
I don't know. I don't think much. Like, I feel like, looking at in the past, like you might think like of yourself as like, oh, that's like really, really embarrassing. But I feel like a lot of us come from the same kind of like nerdy, awkward backgrounds. And it's just, you know, that's just what it is to be a young person.
Yeah. Just gotta, I think like looking back, like you gotta embrace it. And I'll show
Mhm.
you in a different slide, like how I've embraced things. But yeah, from StarCraft fan art to Lolita illustration, very strange.
Yeah. um, so when did you start wearing Lolita fashion? Was it like before or after you started to like, put it onto paper?
This is actually a good timeline because I think that these illustrations was when I was working, while I was studying in
Mhm.
university. Didn't have much money. Don't have that much money now, but like you don't have the type of income as you do compared to a working adult. And it's something like when I was drawing these images, I was like, oh, I really wish I could wear Lolita fashion, but I can't afford it.
Mhm.
So I kind of lived out those dreams in these drawings. And it was only until I did these commissions for my friend
Mhm.
that I started, I could start buying my first pieces and getting friends in the community and getting involved in the community as well. Yeah, when was this? Like 2015, I think. So
Mhm.
seven, oh, I can't count. Six. Don't.
Six,
Now this is
six.
embarrassing.
I think it's six. I think it's 6 years.
I can't math anymore. But
You, me
yeah,
too.
I think these really track like my journey with the fashion as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny also because you're able to like earn money from drawing Lolita in order to buy Lolita.
Yes, exactly. I actually made sure to with this paycheck. for these drawings, I'm like, I'm gonna buy like my first Lolita pieces with it. So yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned drawing in school. Do you have a background in art? And when did you formally start to like learn this or decide that this was going to be a career path?
Yeah. So I guess a little bit about me. So I wow, I have to track my personal history. So I decided in like primary-ish school, 6th grade, that oh yeah, this is something I like to do. But then we all go through high school, and on reflection, I didn't go to a special high school, not an
Like
art
it's
high
the
school
Decor
either.
Factory.
Oh, Corey Factory. Hello, Sarah. Thank you for coming. Yeah, isn't that funny? So I went to just a normal high school. It wasn't even art specialized, but I think from there, I really realized that art was something I found a lot of joy in, something that I could find a lot of expression in. And in my senior years, I really aimed to get into university, which is called the College of Fine Arts. It's a good university. And I did a Bachelor's of Design / Art Education. So it's like becoming an art teacher or a designer if you want. I will say on reflection, I don't think I learned. If you're looking to find out, to kind of increase your art skills or embrace new techniques, I think the fine arts track is more for that, because my experience, I don't think I could have survived my degree without having known how to draw. I think like a lot of so if people are in the comments are thinking about, should I go to an art school? I guess it really depends on the course you're doing, because you might not find that the courses that you pick teach you the skills that you were looking for. So I had to. Another thing that people say is like lots of people say that they're self-taught, and I think I don't know. That statement's really odd to me, because every artist is self-taught in a way, because
Yeah.
it's such a solitary hobby. You're not going to get teachers like every lesson to show you something new. It's kind of on you to discover new skills. But that isn't to say that you can't enroll into like online courses. And I know that there's a lot of really nice ones out there on Skillshare. But yeah, I just think if you think that going to college is the only way, no, that's not the only option. Oh no, yeah. Stop counting my horns.
So for going to art school, did you have to, since you already had to like know kind of how to draw, did you have to like turn in portfolio and like all that stuff?
Some schools are only portfolio based, but I got in. It was kind of my only driving factor to get good marks when I graduated. So for some people, that seems more straightforward, but a portfolio entry really suits other applicants as well. But yeah, it's strange that my school didn't offer a portfolio application. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really lucky that you were like already good at drawing. Otherwise, it would have been like.
There were so many times I'm just like, how can I graduate? Like, if I didn't like mess around with Photoshop in high school. So
yeah,
it's always like the unexpected things you do in your free time that might become useful later on.
Yeah.
And seeing how to, like, if you want to learn how to sew, even though I majored in textiles, no one taught me how to sew at university. That's just stuff apparently you had to know already. So yeah.
Yep. Let's see. I actually do for the audience. I do have questions that I have written down, but we haven't really been following them. I'm so sorry, Yumi. What mediums do you prefer to draw in? You kind of mentioned using markers before, but do you use anything else?
Oh, I'm not sure if there was this kind of meme going around on Twitter where it was a picture of all these Copic markers.
Mhm.
And it's like, if you really wanted these as a teenager, you end up doing digital art. And when I saw that, I'm like, that's me. I really wanted Copic markers and lots of colored markers. And I did accumulate some, but in the end, I stuck to, well, I'm, what is it? I'm predominantly using digital art. I'll show you one of the reasons why. Share. Oh, is my screen still going? It is.
Oh yeah. Should I put it down?
No. It's perfect.
Okay, we're good. Oh.
So I'm going to show you this one because one of my pet peeves when I was working with marker is when I go over the details in white pen, over time that they gradually fade, and that irked me so much. But also, I think just with the general ease of being able to zoom in and out, especially when you're drawing super detail, it's, you can only go so far close to the page. And it really wasn't doing any favors for my posture either. So in that respects, it's I really like how stark the blacks and whites the black and white contrast can be, as opposed to this messy kind of blue. I hate it so much. But
not to be like weird or anything, but look.
Oh, that's thank you.
I think actually though, I think Jenny sent that to me.
Oh, Jenny's so sweet. Thank you for hanging them up. That was a question. Sorry. Wow. Sorry. Something's blocking my thing.
Didn't know about the fading white pen.
Oh, if someone has a solution for me for this fading white pen business, please let me know, and I'll go back to traditional art. But also they got pretty expensive.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, one other huge factor that that impacted me for not drawing traditional anymore. I used to buy these blue leads for my pacer, and they stopped selling them, and I can't find them online anywhere, and I can't draw without them. So thank you, Color Eno, for not supplying them anymore. If anyone finds a supplier, please let me know, and I'll go back to traditional art. Anyway, yeah. So those are some of the reasons.
So at what point did you start to sell your work? Like, did you consider selling like illustrations and artwork a business, or just more of like a hobby?
Oh, that's a really easy question to answer. I think in 2016, I started drawing a lot of Lolita illustrations, and those, and it was only after that started to proliferate. People started asking me, "Oh, please, can I buy your prints?" And I'm like, I don't even know where to get started. So luckily, we lived above a print store, so I just went downstairs and and then just mailed them out. And then having to figure out all the kind of bumps along the way, like how to pack them and how much postage is even. So yeah, I think it came retroactively. I didn't plan for any of this, and in that respect, so I'm very lucky. Yeah. Right now, yes, it is a hobby. I really wish I could do this full time, but I think you pick the lifestyle that you lead, and some things take priority, some things don't take priority, and I'm trying to make this a priority.
So in terms of your different inspirations and like kind of the things that you draw from, it feels like your artwork has a lot of like different it's like very varied, right? So do you want to talk a little bit about like your different inspirations?
Yeah. Oh, so just get just get that folder up. No one's allowed to say poggers to me. Please never say that word to
Ban
me.
you. Banned.
Share screen. Oh, not window. Here we go. Okay. I'll start with kind of the obvious. I mentioned her in a previous panel, but Yuko Higuchi's work. So these artists are. I've tried to kind of differentiate. These ones are not Lolita specific artists, but really made a huge impact on me. So these works are by Yuko Higuchi. She draws a lot of animals, but I like that even her work can just come across as cute and wow, look at that detail. But I like that she has a tinge of darkness to her work, a little bit of spookiness. I think the best way to kind of explain it is Emma said in a different panel of hers is like, it's not outright horror, like an eyeball popping out of your head. It doesn't have to be that. It's quite subtle in why it's unsettling. So yeah, I really enjoy her work. I really recommend anyone to look at her work. It has such wide appeal. I think in terms of mentality, Makoto, oh God, why didn't I write his last name down? Makoto Takahashi is really a big, not influence, but he really changed my mind about how I feel about my own art style. So Makoto's, he is a very famous, well, he used to write shoujo manga, but now he does illustrations. But he's been doing this for 50 years. And this is something that he created in the 60s. But as we can see, compared to his work that he did in 2001, like the subject matter is still the same. Like he enjoys drawing like really cute girls and fantasy aspects. And like there's nothing, I think after looking at his work, I realized, there's nothing wrong about drawing what I enjoy and really honing my craft on that, and not being kind of like led astray by, how come you can't, you don't draw realistic? How come, why don't you do landscapes or realistic sorry, I've already said realistic, but yeah, I just really admire his ideals and sticking to them for all of his life. And my last inspiration is funny, but I only realized how inspiring Hirano's work is. We all, hopefully people have come across Helsing in their life. I grew up like very sheltered, very Christian. And so when I first saw, when I first read Helsing at a friend's house when I was an impressionable age of 15, I was like so shocked at like how like crazy and like violent and the art is phenomenal. And I think his art is really reflective of my current stuff because the use of black and white and especially with the going in with the white and incorporating that detail and also some of the imagery as well. So I'm always, I didn't bring my volume up. It's this big red Bible looking thing. But I'm always flicking through all three artists' books just to kind of be like, oh, how did they approach this? How come it looks so good in their pictures? Something that you might not think is important might actually be a really big influence to you later on in life and you wouldn't know.
Yeah. So what are some motifs that you find yourself coming back to?
Well, teeth is always something I think about a lot. Oh, I think, let me just share one more thing. Okay, this one's like the clean, well, not the clean, the not blue picture version of this picture. So yeah, teeth are a motif that I've used in my work for a few pieces now, and my accessories. And for me, I don't know how visceral I can describe things. I think the safe story is, like most people, might have a fear of going to the dentist. I didn't go for 15 years, and in my late adulthood, I was like, maybe it's time to do this, and that experience was frightening again because how expensive it was. But I changed in my mindset, like, please see the dentist as often as you can. They call me every 6 months, so I'm reminded. But yeah, but teeth also are apparently, when you dream of them, it reflects, what is it? Kind of self-consciousness in your
Yeah, I've heard
appearance.
anxiety.
Yeah, so I think it's a motif that lots of people can relate to. But personally for me, like, man, when my adult teeth were going through, like I said, living a very sheltered life, but teeth have a very visceral memory for me. Just, you know how some kids like can wiggle their teeth. I wasn't one of those kids. I'll just leave it at that then. So yeah, so there's that motif. The other kind of motif I think about in a few works is, so it first started as not a joke, but I thought it was a funny word in that. So Fujoshi, which is kind of like the female equivalent of otaku, translates to rotten girl. And I found that description really strange because it could reflect, maybe their behaviors, but the act of indulging in, well, females indulging in something that they love is considered like gross or rotten. And I found like that concept really strange. And I know Fujoshi isn't really related to Lolita, but yeah, I think there's a lot of power in Lolita in that we can really find enjoyment in things and try to not, well, we shouldn't be ashamed in finding enjoyment in things. And yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I definitely feel like I've heard the term like rotten like thrown around in Lolita as well. Like there was another like art book that came out that was called So Pretty
yeah.
Very Rotten. And also I think in um Kamikaze Girls she like describes herself as like rotten on the inside or something.
Yeah, yeah. And I think there's that aspect, but also like people, well, wider society is very critical about anything that females enjoy in particular. And maybe that's another kind of reflection of that word. So just I like exploring this concept of, why do why is Lolita considered, well, why is that an associative word with Lolita? And yeah. And bugs, because I really hate bugs, especially centipedes. Why do I draw them so much? Same with teeth. I think it's a way of like, why am I shaking? Maybe because like it's kind of like dealing with it in an abstract way. So if I ever see a centipede in real life, I'll be like, cool, instead of like screaming and running away. Same with like teeth. Like if I actually see like baby teeth, maybe it's a way for me to get like ready to see real teeth in the future. Oh my goodness.
Like if it was like a tooth, you'd be like, no.
No, but maybe I'd be like, okay, instead of like, oh no.
Did
But
you
yeah.
did you watch the panel? We did this like super early on, so you may not have caught this. We were talking about like old EGL stories or whatever. And there was this one that someone had posted about how she went to an event and this girl had a treasure chest, like purse, and in the treasure chest there was sand and a little shovel. And you could dig through like the treasure chest and there were teeth in the sand.
Why? Look,
Um,
was her outfit themed with it? Like,
I think I don't know if it was like maybe like a pirate outfit, but
oh my god.
Emma was doing this panel, and after that, someone actually messaged her, and now she was like, "Oh, I was the person who posted that. Like this actually did."
Oh my goodness. Oh no, if that actually happened to me, I past me before like dealing with my teeth issues would be like, and I'd run. But present me, okay, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Also,
Oh,
one time for a San Francisco event, we had like OTT, and someone came as the Tooth Fairy, but she did like special effects makeup, so there were like teeth growing out of the side of her
yeah.
face.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
That was really
Oh,
intense.
amazing. But I think I can deal with a picture of that. But to see it in real life would be, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Just on a weirder note, like, I don't know if you get weird wish recommendations like for products. I think
Probably, yeah. Doesn't
oh,
everyone?
the one that really got me was like a fake set of teeth. And I was like, why do you think I like this? Like, I know I draw a lot, but that doesn't mean I want to purchase them. So yeah. Oh, okay. I'll calm down.
We have a question about your other inspirations that are not things that you're scared of.
Okay.
So Jenny wants to know why you draw like animal people, like alligator and Satan goat.
Uh, I think sometimes, well, it's a way to symbolize, well, to imbue more symbolism into your pictures. But also, I feel people might be able to like relate to these images more because they're more abstracted. What else is there? I know what she's trying to imply. She's trying to imply that I'm furry, but I am not.
Yeah, we have another comment here
Oh,
from someone who's going to get banned.
oh, ban him, and put Jenny on the blacklist, on the watch list. um, um, what is it? Sometimes the other reason is sometimes you just can't draw a good face on some days. So yeah, it's
That's really smart. Yeah.
much more objective to draw an animal head because like people can't really differentiate easily. That's an ugly dog face compared to like a really pretty dog face. So well, I don't
All
know.
dog faces are good dog faces.
So or like if you do like an object head, people can't be like, well, that's an ugly TV or like that's a pretty TV, like
Yeah. Yeah, all dogs are cute.
Yeah, all dogs are cute except one that I know of. He's yellow and he's a Labrador. He's
Oh
called
no.
J.
Oh no.
No, I'm just joking.
In this house, we love and support Jerry. So since it is spooky season, is the month of October, can you tell us a little bit more about like your different horror themed artworks? Besides like kind of being scared of like certain motifs, is there any reason why you do you've done like the like you did the Plague Doctor, like Lolita, I'm pretty sure, and like the Satan Go, and a lot of like darker artworks.
Oh, yeah. I accidentally clicked something. Share. Okay. I think with art, as with fashion as well, it's just a way to explore and express like different aspects of yourself.
Yeah.
I remember when these images were going around, I went to a meet, and some people had only seen my art and not seen me or met me
Yeah.
before. And they were like, "Oh, I thought you'd be really
Like
weird."
really spooky, like a spooky gothic Lolita. But no,
Yeah.
you're
It was like, "Oh, I thought you'd be like actually like mysterious." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry."
yeah.
But yeah, like I think sure, um, it's just a fun way to express different possibilities.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and also what else? Let me just compose my thoughts for a second. But
Yeah.
I think even though I'm sorry to disappoint people. I don't watch horror movies. I'm really scared. I'm really scared of a lot of things actually. Um, don't tell Emma, please. I think she'll be super
No,
disappointed
no,
in
it's
me.
fine. I don't like horror movies either. I have too much anxiety. They give me so much anxiety.
Yeah, so I think the the these are kind of like a safe way for me to explore something a little bit more gothic. Um, I I really, and it's also an opportunity for me to like find like research and find out more about these things, like especially
Mhm.
with the Satan girl.
Mhm.
It was really fun for me to research, what are the motifs that are related to Satanism. I really had to look into the symbols as well. I'm not sure if I
Mhm.
included a newer picture. There was this one time when I was designing. There was this one time when I was designing a dress for a cosplayer, and she needed all these demonic sigils. So it was really fun for me to kind of really read into those and like. No, research is fun, and this is just a way for me to find out more things about the world, but
Mhm.
also kind of experiment in a safe kind of way. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Oh,
on
I'll
a
just mention one thing. Sorry.
yeah, 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 yeah.
This is this drawing was actually based on a script that Technotropism wrote in the
Mhm.
chat, and yeah, I think I just thought it was a really great story, and it was a lovely opportunity to draw a scene based on it. So yes, I'll just say that. But yeah, that's it for that one.
So besides doing like a lot of these more horror themed artworks, you also, uh, oh yeah, you also do a series that's like EGL Fashion and Hype Beast. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure thing. I'm actually really excited about it. Oh, I'm still excited about the idea. So I'll just show people what started it all. Oh, and, I'm not sure if people remember this picture. I think it
Icon.
shook what is it, Ruffle Chat, when this chord debuted, and it was people got so mad about it, and I think this was kind of like people had been wearing sneakers with Lolita before, but this was so brazen, and
Mhm.
to me, I find those sneakers so ugly as well. She's so brave, and she knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
But I think that initial shock really inspired me that, this fashion should be fun. This fashion should be a way to express yourself. But I really wanted to see if like I could make it look a bit more cohesive. Instead of just going for that shock value. No, well,
Yeah.
you know what? It actually does look cohesive with her like lip coloring. So this was just mainly an exploration of that. But in researching more about it, I found more parallels between Lolita Fashion and hypebeast kind of fashion. Like we have our dream dresses, but they have like their grail items. They have lots of like exclusive releases, like like the Misty Sky Shanghai release, or they have their kind of equivalent sneakers. And it was. And also because the aesthetics are so different, I really try to challenge myself in making them mesh a bit more. So I started, this picture especially is based off research in, what is actually of value in hypebeast fashion and what's of value in Lolita fashion. And we all like the Elizabeth OP. But yeah, it's just a way to explore these two very different fashions. This one's with, oh my goodness, chrome hearts. It was nice to find parallels as well. Yeah, and crossovers. This one's actually one of my more favorite pieces. Where did I put it? Oh, and we know a few months back, Buck Cape made this funny April Fool's post of Mana with these exclusive Mortier sneakers, but I actually wish that these were real. Like this could be the beginning of something new, and of course I had to try to draw that in a cord. So yeah,
it is more innovative than anything Mortier's put out recently. So.
Please, Mona, please listen to this podcast. Yeah, and I think like it's a slippery slope though, because in researching, it's kind of like Lolita. When I first started like drawing Lolita, I'm like, oh, maybe I could like wear it one day. And in researching more about this hype fashion and like tech wear in particular, I'm like, oh, maybe I can wear that one day. So I say that it's a cheap way to explore different fashions, but it maybe is a bad gateway to.
Because having multiple expensive fashion hobbies is very it's difficult.
Maybe I just have to start drawing like she and stuff. I don't know.
Start drawing like potato sacks.
Oh please! Like maybe that's my next challenge, to make like potato sacks look really good with Lolita.
Oh yeah. I had like a joke dream cord, which I talked about actually in a podcast about like a potato sack dress that was like looked like a potato sack based on like a like when sack dresses got really popular. Anyway, it's unrelated.
No, make it a reality. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yeah. What's it called? Like Hessian? Is it burlap, right?
Yeah, I think the actual dress would have to be not burlap because it would be very itchy. So just like a kind of really textured thing. But the idea was that you would take a screen print that says like potato on the front. They're always.
What? Unironically, I think people could like get into that because like people love that doji. Oh my god. And I remember there was a Taobao print with that, and like people really got into it. So you know what? Like there's a market for everything. So.
So you have also previously made printed fabrics with your artwork, which you kind of previously showed with the tooth imagery. Yeah. Is this something that you would consider doing again?
I think, I keep pressing the wrong button. I'll just put it back up again. I really enjoyed the process. You know what? Like if I living in Australia does have its perks, but also there are some disadvantages in that, especially with checking with colors for swatches, it just adds up. Especially and that's pretty much like the reason I haven't released a red color, because I need to keep ordering, and with every iteration, it's just wrong. So I really want to, and I've had people in the past approach me very kindly to even manufacture these fabrics into dresses. Hopefully, I can get around to doing that. I think 2020 just kind of slowed me down. So I would like to produce dresses in the future, but yeah, definitely textile designs are always on the cards. I think there's a lot more, as opposed to just a one-off illustration, there's a lot more planning involved, but also math. I remember I had to like measure all my skirts that I had and measure the size of the motifs. To make sure like repeats were exact and they looked good. So I think once I get I have a lot of ideas bouncing in my head, but I really need to be very strong on one to be able to commit that much time into it. But yeah, if people don't know, my fabrics are available on Spoonflower, and I'm always really happy to see people make stuff from those fabrics. So yeah.
So everyone should go out and make some teeth dresses.
Oh, please, please. I think like the difference between me sewing Lolita compared to like sewing a dress for myself, or like even a cosplay, like I become so much more like crazy when I sew Lolita, because I'm like, but it has to be as good as brand. Yeah, I think please, everyone, if you like the fabric, I know it's expensive. I'd love to see more teeth dresses in the future.
So besides having your own, like making your own designs, you also previously had a collaboration with ACDC Rag, where you had like multiple artworks on their stuff. What was it like to have your artwork featured on their clothing and like work with them in that way?
So the collab with ACDC was a few months after my entry for the t-shirt. Sorry, I entered a t-shirt competition, and a few months after that, I was asked to do a collaboration with them, and that was a very unexpected opportunity. It was really fun to bounce ideas off them. I thought, I thought that these girls that I previously drew on like a zine that I also did for the Decora Factory would make a really nice, they would be fun characters to do for these designs. And it was very unexpected, kind of like dream, because in the models that they used, her name is Picarin, and I'm not sure if people used to watch Kawaii Patine on YouTube. I used to watch videos of that channel all the time, especially of her doing makeup tutorials. So and that was like when I first was getting into Lolita, and for her to be modeling my clothes that I designed it just felt like a full circle to me. Like this was for me, it was a very big deal, because this is someone who really inspired my Lolita journey, J fashion journey. So yeah, I think if people are thinking about opportunities, that contest runs every year. It's a great way to what is it? it's a great way to do something a bit different, and also because they look after all the production matters for you. It's not stressful either. As opposed to like you printing your own shirts, like that is definitely an option for lots of people. But if that kind of stuff stresses you out, like these kinds of competitions are really fun to participate in.
So do you think on your own you would want to produce any kind of like printed like artwork on shirts, or do you think you'd like just gonna want, not?
I think, well, in the last few days I've been sharing in my stories some plans that I've been, thinking about. But I think it comes with the challenges of being small scale, especially with these designs. I really want to get them screen printed, but there are minimums to meet. There's also like product testing that you have to pay for. But also like really practical matters is like, but when am I going to get the time to wrap and ship all of these out? And also things to do with like, what sizes can I order? Then I have to meet quotas for different sizes. It's really, if you're a kind of person that relishes in, logistics and getting things done, it's very fulfilling in that way. But for me, it's on top of, my regular job. It's one, stressful, but two, it's a lot of money for a small business, especially without guarantee. So yeah, I think if screen printing was a print on demand thing, then all our problems are solved. But I'm very adamant on wanting screen printing for these designs. So yeah, it's I read this thing about like, you're an artist or a business person, but as an artist sometimes you have to be both, and that's a real challenge. Yeah.
And definitely even like besides having to be like do the business part and be the artist, like looking after production is a whole other job. Like, aside from like the money things, figuring out like the minimums and like all of that, it's like it's so many jobs in one.
Yeah, and also the marketing and the social media. It's like it's so much easier just to draw something, put it up online. Once you factor in like trying to sell it, even if it's just a print, it's a lot to get started. Yeah. But once you have a system with like prints and small objects, it becomes quite workable around a lot of things. But once you start getting to apparel and like bigger items, of course it's stressful. Yeah, it's luckily something I haven't had to deal with yet. There was a time when I did do these thigh highs a few years ago. And like, even though they look, even though I'm happy with how they look like, it was such an ordeal just to get something simple like this made. Because I live in Australia, I had to get them delivered to a proxy, plus all the customs tax, and also like there was no way for me to see a test as well. So even though I'm happy with how these turned out, like there were so many crappy versions of these products that I couldn't sell, that I had to absorb the costs. And in the end, I just had to sell these for pretty cheap, just because I wanted them out of my house. Yeah. So if anyone has recommendations on where to get thigh highs printed reliably, I'm all ears. Because I love thigh highs. I love stockings.
Me too.
Oh, they're like probably my favorite thing to design, but it's just this was such a nightmare to deal with.
Yeah, I hope you are able to find someone to print these, because I think they're so cool.
Hopefully. Hopefully. Fun fact, I borrowed all these like scalpels and stuff from my workplace. And they're like, what are you going to do with them? I'm like, oh, photo shoot. And they're like, "Are you going to stab anyone with these?" I'm like, "No." So I had to sign like a little waiver. Like, if I stab anyone with these, like my workplace is not related in any way. So
yeah. So if they saw like a stabbing in the news, like the next day, they'd be like, "That's nothing to do with
that's
us."
not us, not related.
Do you have any ideas that you have not been able to make happen yet? If it's like, artwork, or if it's like, physical products. And if you have any ideas for these things, what are some factors in like not being able to make them yet?
I think it's really sad to say, but money is a really huge factor. Especially to get big things produced, you need a lot of money to just start off with. You also, if you're investing your own money, you have to be willing to accept that maybe it's not going to go so well. So that's why it's much safer to go with smaller objects. I'd love to get those clothing items produced. I'd love to get more textiles on the way, but yeah, it's hard to deal with that money stuff. It's hard to deal with the actual testing as well, yeah, of the product, and also finding the right sources where to get suppliers from.
Yeah, I mean, also, yeah, Jenny's right. If you wanted to like collab with another like Lolita designer or artist or something, it might be maybe more doable as well.
Yeah. But even I guess even in the collab, I have to make sure that I'm doing stuff. Yeah. But we'll see. I always think about lots of things, so maybe in the future.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite J fashion artists that are really inspiring to you?
Yeah. I'll just this up. I have some international examples, but also some Australian ones. And I'm very excited. Share screen. I think a given is Kiro Imai. So if you are starting to get into drawing Lolita Fashion, obvious choice. Please look at Kiro Imai, like just amazing. There's also Lulu.
Yeah.
She's done a few panels for Bay Area K. We've been mutuals for a long time, and I think we've both seen each other's art practice really grow over time as well. But yeah, her work deals with mental health issues, but also like really macabre imagery. Her line work and sense of detail is amazing. It's phenomenal. And her symbolism that she uses in her work, just wonderful. Dumia, just wonderful girl, just beautiful artwork. I just really like how simple her coloring style is as well. Her the way she draws faces, just beautiful. So yeah, please check those two people out. I remember Dumia was offering commissions a few events ago for Bay Area.
Yeah, I think it might have been in February, and I think there might have been just like too many commissions. It seemed like a lot. I was like, "Are you okay?"
So I hope you're okay, Dumia. But amazing work. Hopefully, sending more work your way. But yeah. Very kind as well. This is Kate, also known as Rouge Airy. She did the Cthulhu dress that people have probably seen around. But she also, I'm not sure if these are still available, but she does like parody prints of famous parody prints. So this is Sailor Moon as Silent Moon, and also Sailor Moon as Puppet Circus. I think you can buy these as tote bags, I think, but really wonderful. She also did a series on RPG character, D&D RPG characters interpreted in a Lolita style. I really like the series in particular. And this is my friend Lottie. Her handle is why isn't it not coming to me? Snail? No. Oh my goodness. It'll come to me. Slug Baroness. I remember Snail, Slug. But I think conceptually she's on another level, like really fun illustrations. But yeah, like we know the radioactive cupcake dress, but
Yep.
is anyone going to pair it with a gas mask? No.
I mean,
Lottie
nowadays
does.
maybe they should.
Yes, please. So I adore Lottie's work. Yeah. Oh, I want to shout out Michelle as well. But I didn't put picture for you. I'm so sorry. Maybe I'll share your artwork and apologies after. But yes, Chiarasu, Michelle is her artwork is features a lot of the Lolita Fashion as well, Australia based, very detail oriented, beautiful colors. I can't color; she can color. Yeah, so that's them. I think I also get really inspired by just people I follow. Mm-hmm. So the icon picture you used today is of Jenny and Artemis Agi. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing, but Evina is someone I really get inspired by. Her looks a lot. Yeah, and you. But I haven't gotten around to drawing you. I'm so sorry.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think that's my like current main source of inspiration. Just people's chords, especially the more experimental ones, get me excited.
Vina is like so good at layering.
Yeah, and it was such a joy to draw all the different layers and detail. Yeah, that's it for that question.
So as a small business, what are some of the struggles that you think you face? Especially, I think, I guess I've interviewed a lot of people who are primarily garment or accessories. Do you think that there's anything different about being a small business that's primarily like illustration?
We definitely don't have to deal with well, it doesn't take much space. It really doesn't. And I think if you have the right printing person, like you can get a print on demand as well. I just get them done at work and order a few very over time. I think it's just harder. I don't know how many people are out there like actively searching to buy prints every day. It's much more like enticing to advertise a dress compared to like, please buy a piece of paper from me, please. So there's that. But because I know when I release an item, and then having to prepare and pack all those items in that time is so soul destroying for me. But if we're not talking about like item releases, week to week, I get like 1 or 2 packages that I have to do in my free time, and that's manageable. I guess like you got to pick a business model that suits you and what is achievable for you. And yeah, like if you don't enjoy doing that stuff, like is there a way to employ someone to help you or get that part outsourced? Like I think yeah, I really don't enjoy packing, and I get very anxious about even writing the wrong address on.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, and like Jenny has volunteered to distribute.
Oh, we don't even live in the same state.
You have to come all the way over.
Yes, come over here. 3-hour drive.
And is art block something that you deal with? And do you ever feel pressure to produce things even when you're not feeling inspired?
I think out of everything I'll say today, this answer might be hopefully helpful to someone. Um, modern, the internet and all the social media kind of, there aren't many, social media isn't built for artists right now. The platforms that we have are not ideal, especially like if we're talking about algorithms. It's not really conducive to every artist. I personally, I did used to feel quite pressured and also punished for not producing art often. But you got to really think about using social media, but also your art. What are your terms? How are you going to use this? How are you going to derive joy from this to kind of power you through those punishing moments? So the way I deal with art block is, well, what is it? I'll just finish with like, there's a huge pressure right now on all types of artists to be always creating content. It's not art to these platforms. It's just content. It's just stuff. But we know that, you know, as artists, and also like, you know, putting on a cord is not just a cord. It's a lot of thought. It's a lot of process. It's saving up for that garment. They don't care about all of that. So we need to make sure that we spend enough time in creating the art that we want to see. But whenever I am working on a picture and something's not working out, I just stop drawing for the day, and I do something else like sewing or washing dishes.
It's actually so productive of you.
Well, it's. I used to hate washing dishes, but like it's become such a therapeutic thing for me because I put on a podcast, and like it's just a time for yourself to do really like no thinking. So just set some different priorities in those times where things aren't working out. There are times when I do sketches for like an hour and they look just junk. At that point, it's not going to work. Just stop, do something else, because you might come back later with a fresher set of eyes, and everything will be sorted out much clearer. Visualize. This is a strange thing. I don't really do sketchbooks, so I don't really sketch anymore. Mainly because I don't really have the time or patience to anymore. But I try to visualize concepts in times when I can't be drawing, or I really want to draw but I don't have the time. So like in the shower, I'm thinking like, what do I want to draw? But also like, how am I going to like, what's the composition of the picture in the shower? But also like before I sleep as well, I think about, you know, what kind of picture should I draw? And and I think if you're using those kinds of times, when you really are feeling passionate but you can't, like by the time when you have time, you have that idea already in your head. So yeah, you'd think that I can't sleep, but it really does help me sleep because I can't really think about, can't really remember what exactly the composition was before. But yeah. If you are getting bored with a certain thing, right. So sometimes in a big picture, I really don't want to draw the hands. And whenever I draw the hands, they look awful. I'm like, that's it for the hands. I'm going to just do something I enjoy for now and then come back to it. I think a lot of beginner artists are taught this process of you got to do the sketch and the line art perfectly, and then you can do the coloring. But you don't have to follow that process. You can skip between like different stages. So like it doesn't have to be this one-way train ride. It can be, you know, full of twists and turns. And I think that's another thing that's helped me finish pictures. Yeah.
And do you have any other advice for aspiring artists, especially if they are trying to, you know, maybe they want to monetize it, or maybe they want to just like, you know, improve, like, yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll say my most important thing right now. Screen cap this, people. Watermark every single picture you ever do. I know it's ugly as hell, but it will save you so much heartache. I've had my art stolen so many times. People send me pictures of like tattoos that they've done of my artwork and go, "Hey, look at this," and I'm just like, okay. But you know what? Like, save yourself that awkward conversation in the future by watermarking your artwork and clearly labeling like who you are on it. Like, my situation is quite mild, but I've had friends who've done graphics that have ended up in multiple countries, and they never saw a cent from it. So please watermark your artwork. Second thing is create art that makes you feel happy. You know, I think people can recognize genuine joy from others. So if you're someone who's pumping out artwork every day just for the algorithm, or you know, or drawing things that you aren't particularly interested, I think people can sense that. I don't know how, but I think when someone is passionate about something, it will come through in their work. Art, I think, is I think art is every artwork is a piece of an artist's soul. Might not be a soul, but it is definitely a portion of their life spent on this thing. So make sure you are spending your life on things that you find fulfilling or you enjoy, and it doesn't really matter like who, like if it's popular or if you think it'll get picked up. It's your life. You have to prioritize yourself.
Yeah. Have people tattooed your art anyway, even with the watermarks?
No. You know, I'll tell you something. The most ridiculous one is someone like tattooed the goat girl, but then like changed it to have like Chanel logos on it.
What the hell? Oh no!
Like, really? Or another one, the pumpkin girl, and they gave her like a little maid apron. I'm like, who are you making these creative liberties with my? But yeah, I just you know, I got mad first, but then I was laughing so hard at the Chanel logos. So you got to, in those situations, you have to try and laugh. So yeah, surprise tattoos aren't fun, but please, I think if people asked me and we had a mutual understanding, I'll say yes most of the time. But if it's just I don't know, it's so rude for someone to come up to you and say, hey, I got this, without telling you or asking you. So,
and it's also like really disingenuous on the tattoo artist's part, because it's not their art.
Yeah, but you know, lots of people out there. So I don't want to finish on that note. One thing, you know, on that thing about what makes you feel happy. Personally, I used to do commissions, but after doing a few, I found that they were really soul sucking, and you know, you got to find, unless you are in the situation where you need to do them and that they are a source of your income, you know, you have to do them. But if you have that luxury of like picking what you want to do, don't do the things that you don't want to do. Like, it's your life, it's your art. Like, you can only create the art that you do. So yeah.
Yeah, or you should do it, but like charge $500.
Oh, I mean, like, yeah, right. 500, 1,000.
It has to be a lot of money.
Oh,
That's what your
it's so
time is
weird.
worth.
Because like I have all my sketchbooks with my original artworks in them, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should sell these, but I don't know. I feel really attached to them. Do you think commissions are good for art blocks? It depends on the person. If you are, for me, no. For me, no, not at all. I can't think of anything worse for me. But I think commissions are good if you want a deadline, if you really revel in making people feel happy, bringing their kind of reality, I mean, their imagination to real life. I think if you revel in that kind of emotion, sure. You know, there are different reasons why people do commissions. Something I don't really like to do.
Yeah. And kind of the last question, what are your plans for the future?
I don't know. I think my short-term plan is to see if I can get those garments released. I'd really love to create more like Lolita specific garments. But we'll see how that goes. I have holidays coming up at the end of the year. I'm feeling quite energized because it's October. I don't know. I think I like sleep for the majority of the year, and then art happens in October, and then hopefully that energy can carry me across to when I actually have free time to create.
Yeah. Well, I am very hopeful about these garments that may be happening. Sounds really exciting, and I might want to get my grabby little hands on them.
Thank you. I hope it works out. Math me doesn't work, like logistics me, but you know, I got to think of the final to power me through this. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah. No, thank you for coming to this interview. I guess if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. We've been kind of doing them throughout, but yeah. I don't know if there's any questions from the audience, but otherwise we are pretty much done.
Thank you, Mai, for coming. All right. Oh, what outfits are we wearing? Do we have to stand? I'm wearing.
Are you attached?
Am I attached? No. What do you mean attached?
Are you like attached to the computer so you can't stand up?
No, I can. This is. I'm just not wearing a petticoat. I don't want to be crucified. This is. Oh no, this was not supposed to be here. This is my favorite Innocent World dress. I actually really wanted to wear this blouse today for some reason. Yeah, I'm crazy about this blouse. It's got speed holes in it.
You gotta go fast.
Yes. So yeah, just Innocent World today. Repping that IW.
Oh yeah. I am wearing black.
Oh, and the neon glass.
Oh yeah. So nice.
Oh, I was actually having a I was having a dilemma. I'm like, oh, I want to wear like brown today, but then if people log in and see I'm not even wearing black, I feel like, who's this? Who's this?
No, you need to wear what you want.
Yeah. But yeah, yes.
Okay. I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I thought, I think that you have a really good outlook on how to approach work, and you're like really inspiring. So thank you.
Oh, geez. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, everyone who came.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, everyone.